A bloody severed finger wrapped in paper towels, online threats, mob scenes, crowdfunding, and a pair of alpacas. It's the so-called Johnny Depp trial in full swing, and Captain Jack Sparrow enduring a blistering cross-exam. It's all happening right now in a Fairfax, Virginia courtroom. Okay, 2 words, or should I say 2 syllables to you, Brian Claypool, to prove Caitlin Becker wrong. O.J. Simpson, with all of the hoopla surrounding that case, and do I have to say tot mom Casey Anthony? There were hordes of people outside the courtroom saying, justice for Kelly. There was still an acquittal in both of those cases.
Yeah, hey, Nancy, great to be back with you. The difference, though, in the O.J. case, though, that was in downtown Los Angeles with an extremely liberal jury. And I think with Johnny Depp in Fairfax, Virginia, it's neutralized a little bit. But Nancy, one comment about this case. Have you ever taken your gorgeous kids to Six Flags, right, where all the roller coaster rides are? I'm sure you have, right? Mm-hmm. You're a good mom, right? Mm-hmm. Right? There's a ride called Goliath, right? That's what this trial is. It is the biggest roller coaster ride you've ever been on, the ups and downs. And I will tell you that from when this trial started, when I thought Depp had no chance at winning this trial, he now, in my opinion, has a legitimate chance of winning the trial if he can prove damages, because Amber Heard's lawyers brought in all of these videos and audios that every reasonable person sitting there saying, how can a loving woman who cares for this guy be keeping all this audio and videotape? And I think at this point, the jury does not like Amber Heard.
Wait a minute. Maybe you've got that bass-ackwards, friend, because part of the jury may say, why is as you said, loving wife keeping all these videos? The rest of the jury may be saying, why would a loving husband say all that? As a matter of fact, take a listen to our Sound 16. This is Amber Heard recording. Listen to Johnny Depp. You know, Caitlin Becker, I'd be worried about more than my image. I'd be worried about that $50 million and that $100 million lawsuit the two of them have filed against each other. And you know what's interesting? Out to you, Claypool. Very often, a whole trial turns on one fact. Go with me, all right? Back to Simpson, dare I mention his name. I don't want to conjure him up. But in that case, with all the evidence, I really think, Claypool, that it boiled down to that one moment when my old sparring partner, Johnny Cochran, got Simpson to try on the ill-fated glove and then claim it didn't fit. Of course it fit. It was just dried out from blood. But to see him in front of the jury trying to pull it over his big Virginia ham fingers, couldn't do it. I wonder if this is going to turn on something as simple as who severed Depp's finger, because they're both claiming the other did it.
Yeah, Nancy, I think in this trial there are 2 does the glove fit Johnny Cochran moments. There's 2. The first one, before we get to the severed finger, is, remember that testimony by Depp when he said that Amber accused him of headbutting her and breaking her nose. And then she said, I blood all over the place. I was bleeding everywhere. And Johnny goes to the trash can and pulls out a napkin, and he says it's nail polish. That's the first glove moment. Why? Because that says, if a jury believes that Amber Heard is capable of lying. Why is that important? Because the jury's got to decide in this case, like Mark said, that what she said in that op-ed is false. Now they can make that link because she allegedly lied about the nosebleed.
Good point.
Now let's talk quickly about the finger now. Let's talk quickly about the finger. I think Ben King's testimony, for your viewers, that's the guy that was managing the property in Australia when he was filming Pirates of the Caribbean 6. His testimony is really important on this finger issue because he said the vodka bottle was broken. Number 1. There was glass everywhere. That's important because it shows she could have thrown it, and glass is broken everywhere. The third point I want to make is the blood, he kept saying there were driplets of blood everywhere, near the ping pong table, on the floor everywhere. Why is that important? Because if Depp just sat at that bar and sliced off his finger, then all the blood would be pooling right on the bar table.
You know what, Claypool? You may need to consider being a lawyer, because that's a pretty good argument. What about it, Iglarsh?
Well, he's been known to throw out a good argument here and there. I did not do this.
Brian Claypool, let's analyze this. Let's rake it over with a fine-tooth comb. That's what the jury's going to do. Listen, he says, and he's not apologizing for any abuse. He says, we got to deal with this abuse thing, Amber. We got to deal with this. And she says, it's my credibility. You know that. And he says, why did you put that out there? Now, this is a private conversation.
Right.
If he had beaten her, wouldn't he be saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Don't put it out there. He's saying, why did you put that out there? And she says, I did not. You forced me to. I mean, that's as close to a smoking gun that Eiglarsh is talking about as we're going to get.
It's not, Nancy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Go, Claypool.
why is Amber Heard? Why is she talking? Why is she worried about her credibility? That's what I'm trying to understand through that dialogue.
That's
if she's
good.
worried about her credibility, that signals to me that what Johnny's talking about with the abuse is her abusing him. That's the first point I want to make. Secondly, look, you can prove a fact through inference. There's also a jury instruction on that, Nancy. It doesn't always have to be that it's actual evidence, that there's an eyewitness of something. And why is that important here? Because because all Depp has to prove is that he did not abuse Amber Heard. That's the first thing. And as of today, despite all of these videotapes, despite all the audio, despite all the text messages, there's not a single ounce of evidence, other than maybe Amber Heard coming on to testify, that she was abused by Johnny Depp. He's never said that in anything, Nancy, and it's important because he was smart. His strategy in this case was that clip you played 5 minutes ago when he said, I never abused anybody, I only abused myself. That's his strategy in the case. That's his lifestyle. And he's saying, that's how I live, but I never abused her.
You know, I'm just thinking about what you just said, Brian Claypool. You said she's talking about her credibility. Hey, everybody on Fox Nation, think about it. The last time I had an argument with my husband was about 12 hours ago, maybe longer, because he didn't order my daughter's oat milk. She wants oat milk in the morning. That's what she makes her breakfast from. And
did you record it? Did you record it, Nancy? Probably not.
No, I did not record it, nor did I mention my credibility. There you go. And I bet nobody on that jury does. Go ahead, Claypool, jump in. This is no tea party at Highgrove. I told you that.
Mark's one of the best trial lawyers on the planet. But Mark, that point about taping these phone calls, and there's some motive behind it. What Depp's lawyers are going to argue in closing is that Amber Heard had a motive all along, that she was manufacturing all of this to like Nancy said, to possibly exploit the Me Too movement. That, in other words, why else would you be recording these conversations? Johnny Depp was allegedly trying to slit his wrist in one of the audios, and instead of her like, oh my God, let me get you help, let me call the therapist, you know, she's sitting there recording it and not being really concerned about his well-being. I just think in a high-profile celebrity case, things like this are going to sway a jury. In other words, here's another Johnny Depp.
Brian Claypool, that is going to backfire. Okay, that came across so badly that Heard is telling Johnny Depp, who's going to believe you? Quote, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim of domestic violence. You're actually going to tell somebody that? And he says, I am.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, Nancy. And I really do think at the end of the day, I'm not sure I agree with this. Well, there's two spoiled actors here. I really think that a lot of people, including my daughter, you know, a lot of people have been following this. A lot of people love Johnny Depp, Nancy. That's something we've got to be talking about here. His voice, for example, on the stand. I was driving this morning and my daughter and I were listening. We're like, we can't stand that lawyer's voice. Like a lawyer was asking questions. That voice is annoying. But Johnny Depp's voice captures that jury. He made a joke in the middle of the trial about, remember this guy whatever this guy's name, Rothenbone, sounds like a soup. Like this lawyer, and he keeps saying to Johnny, hey, did I say that correctly? And then Johnny says, yeah, do you want to read it one more time? Right? The jury laughed. We've got to be looking at signals like that from the jury. I personally believe this case is important because
signal, Claypool.
Don't you think, though? If he can prove... Look, if Depp doesn't lose Pirates of the Caribbean 6, I agree with your panel. Two spoiled brats. But look, the 4 days after, if Depp can bring on somebody maybe from Disney to say, look, we cut that. He's got to establish when was Pirates of the Caribbean, thrown off the table, and what's the reason why. And if he does that, I think he's got a shot.
It was 4 days after the op-ed, Claypool.
Yes,
and I got to tell you
so
guys, a real-life moment.
To me,
I'm not a betting woman, but if I had to bet on the outcome, what would you say, Claypool?
I think Depp wins if he proves that he brings in somebody to prove that he lost Pirates and possibly Harry Potter because of the op-ed. He can win.
Okay.